proof Sirius Black is still alive. Hello, witches and wizards and muggles alike. So in today's video, it is the third day of a celebration of Harry Potter 2018, which has unfortunately come to an end. I'm already planning for next year. That's okay. And just to explain that clip you just saw, Kelsey and I were James and Sirius. She was Sirius, I was James Potter, and my friend came and she was our Moony. She's a Ravenclaw, so that's why she's wearing a Ravenclaw robe. Universal had 2 expo halls. One of them had a wait to get into, and whenever we arrived, it was like 9 a.m. It already had a 2-hour wait. So we're like, yeah, we're just gonna go to the other one first. So that's what we did. And at that expo, I'm just gonna show little clips here and there while I do like a voiceover type thing. So at the first expo, they had you'll see the crib that baby Harry is in. They had Rita Skeeter's quill, the snitch. They even had like Quidditch World Cup pamphlets. Then they had the portkey boot that was used, and the little thing Sirius Black had for his Azkaban number.
Sirius, when did you go to Azkaban?
Not yet. They even had chalk art, and oh my goodness, was that amazing. Like, you would thought it was like a picture, but no, it was chalk. We had the chance to play the Hogwarts Mystery Game, and that was so much fun. You play it in the same year that Charlie Weasley and Nymphadora Tonks are in. You'll be finding out very soon when it comes out. That's what they told us. They had the costumes from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. They had Harry's, Ron's, and Hermione's. And then they had some of the wands and like the Gryffindor and Slytherin outfits, and if you look closely you'll see Harry's glasses. And then what you're seeing now is the Fantastic Beasts virtual reality game. It's cool, you get to have the Thunderbird right in front of your face. It was the first expo, and then the second expo, that was where they had the studio tour, the exhibition stuff, just a lot of things. So Scholastic was celebrating 20 years of Harry Potter. And then, you know how Scholastic has the illustrated editions of the books, so that's what's on the walls. And then they had every year they've had a wall that says, "Tell us what Harry Potter means to you," and that's what I wrote. So next is the exhibition costumes. They had some of the Fantastic Beasts costumes like Serafina Pickery, and then the dress costumes that Queenie and Tina wore. And then they had Lucius Malfoy's outfit. Oh my goodness. And Bellatrix's outfit. Oh! They had the wedding outfit Ginny wore, and then the costume Luna wore to Slughorn's Christmas party. They had Fred and George's wedding costumes, which I was very excited about. And then they had Crumb's outfit and Tonks's outfit. Then next we went over to the Mina Lima area. They're the ones who designed the graphics of Harry Potter, and that's what's on the walls there, and I just thought it was cool that a lot of them were signed. And this year they were celebrating Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, so they just had a bunch of different things from Mina Lima, and like what they sell at the House of Mina Lima in London. Then we went into the studio tour, and they had the Goblet of Fire. Oh my goodness. And then the candles that you see, they actually used in the films.
So if you were wondering, this is the real Goblet of Fire, or at least one of them. This is not the original. The original is actually still in London, and that's because that original one was actually carved out of real wood. It was carved by Pierre Bohanna, the prop master, out of English elm, and it's very heavy and fragile, so that's why that one's still in London. This was actually Goblet of Fire number 2, and it was made for a very specific scene in the movie when they were announcing the Triwizard competitors. Now, for this scene in particular, they needed to add a practical effect to the goblet, but doing that to the original one, it essentially involved ruining it. So for this one, they made it different. The special effects supervisor, John Richardson, actually made this one out of fiberglass and resin, so it's hollow. But I'll set the scene for you. Let me get the flame going. They would enhance the flame with CGI in post-production. But I'll set it up. They've announced the competitors Floyd Delacour and Cedric Diggory and Victor Crumb. And then while everyone's celebrating, they get pulled back in because it turns red one more time. And that one last parchment comes out of it. Did you read that to everyone? Harry Potter. So that's actually how they pull up the scenes. So instead of using an entirely CGI version, they actually had a physical goblet of fire with an air cannon hidden underneath it, and you could put a real piece of parchment inside of here that it would shoot out that the actor could then catch, and then only slightly aided by CGI. Pulls that. These were the actual proclamation boards used on the Order of the Phoenix. So you probably remember in the scene where Umbridge is getting kicked out of Hogwarts. You probably saw these shattering and falling all the way down to the ground. That was mostly practical effect as well. So the way that they pulled that off, these are actually made out of foam material, so they're quite light. They had special explosives in the glass and on the hooks to send them shattering and tumbling down the wall there.
Then they had Umbridge's costume. In Order of the Phoenix, when Fred and George, they do their whole fireworks shebang thing. And then Umbridge is left smoking. They had that dress, and they showed the effects of how they made the smoke happen. It was just a smoke machine. Just a very intense vapor that they used, and it didn't harm the costume or the actress. And they had the letter firing door, which is seen in the first film, of course, when Harry is being bombarded by letters. So yeah.
And I'll be pressing the button in 3, 2, 1. And those are for all.
Kelsey got to ask a question on Saturday, this was Sunday, and I got to ask the question, and that's what that is.
Power to bring a character into our world, who would it be and why?
That's awesome. If you had the power to bring a character into our world here, which character would it be?
Dumbledore. Yeah, I was like, Dumbledore, definitely. Yeah. Teach all of us to be witches and wizards. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I was going to say I'll bring in the Hungarian horntail dragon. That would be awesome.
That would be epic.
Where's James? Oh, there he is. Coming into the country. Have you got anything to declare? Nope. We could get like a little service dog.
Right. My service dragon.
Just have a Thank you, yeah, exactly. They said, well done, dragon, which was a really fun line of ours.
How about bring Dobby? Because it's cute and it's sweet.
As a free elf.
Yeah, I'll give him a sock.
Alright, so the next few clips are just little bits and pieces from the Q&A. Like the first one, I think James is talking about his wand. The next question was, what scenes would you have liked to see in the movies?
Like impressions of pine cones on my wrist, and I actually broke it 3 times. Mainly because you know how drummers do that cool thing where they just spin it? Like, I'm not a cool drummer, and so like I'd go and do that, and the one would just go flying, and it would break. Like some of the pine cones would come off. So it took quite a while to get used to it, but that's one thing that I think everyone would always say when they're asked what would they like to have had from the movies, like the wands, but they took them under lock and key, and they tour with the exhibition now, so the rest of the world can. But I keep mentioning it to Eddie and the guys who run it, saying like, can I have that when you're done?
It's fine, you can buy one here.
There you go.
Yeah, yes, this is true.
There was so much of Ginny's Quidditch and just, all of that stuff. There was just so much of hers that kind of really told that element of her, that sort of very sort of captain, kind of leader of the pack kind of vibe. And it was never in the books, but it'd be cool to have a wedding scene.
Right.
Harry and Ginny's wedding would have been cool.
That would have been lovely.
Yeah.
I think mine would be the swamp scene from the Goblet of Fire. That would have been awesome to be able to do. Anyway. Yeah, that was a good one. I really liked in the last one the Resistance radio channel that was going on. So it would have been. We actually did it for the EA game that was done. So that was cool. But to have actually done it in the film would have been good. And nice.
I got 2.
Okay.
I read the books last year again because I really missed them. And I was like, I haven't actually read them from beginning to end in ages, so I did that. I don't know, I think in the book, I think I'm not going mad, but there's quite a big kind of moment for Dumbledore's funeral, and I think that was missed, and I would have loved to have seen how everyone said goodbye to him. I think, the mermaids come and sing, and just the imagery of everyone, saying goodbye to this kind of epic pillar in the community would have been nice.
Yeah.
And I would have loved to have gone to Hogwarts. In the sick book as well, she goes and she's kind of involved and she's a protector and everyone, you can see no one knows what's wrong with her, and like at the end it's like, I love you, that bit that you kind of get why she's just lovesick. I think that would have been nice to play.
Lovely.
Well, I would have loved to have all the Quidditch stuff in the film that was cut out, the book. I mean, half the book wasn't in the film. So, all of that stuff, definitely. I would have loved to see Crumb do a little more. That would have done the best thing.
A bit more action. Right.
And now it's time for the Hogwarts projection show. I'm not gonna put the whole thing because it's kind of long. Also, copyright. The whole idea behind it is the sorting hat is talking to you like, oh, you might belong in Ravenclaw or Gryffindor, Slytherin or Hufflepuff. I absolutely loved it. Like each house, like at the end of the little woo, they had the mascot projected onto the castle. Celebration of Harry Potter 2018. Oh my goodness, I absolutely loved everything. I love Universal. I've been to every single celebration so far. I mean, it gets bigger and better, I guess, every year, you can say that. The panel was absolutely amazing. I loved, like, the cast members, they're hilarious together. I love them all. I mean, considering most of them were my favorite characters, so. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of my videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. See you next time.